Hey everyone, and welcome back to Masonzero MTG. Today I'll be talking about some of the best cards for Cube from the upcoming Unfinity set, whose full previews were just released. Now don't go clicking away off this video just because I'm going to talk about an unset. These cards may be wacky, but there are actually quite a few, especially in this set, that could work in normal formats. To the point that some of the cards in the set are actually legal in formats like Commander. The cards I'm going to pick today are cards that are intuitive and clear in their rules, play without any weird extra resources, and of course I avoided cards that involve stickers or tickets, and I also avoided all the cards that involve attractions because that's just more cards you have to include. So let's get into it, but if you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, I would appreciate it if you subscribed for more videos like this. Alright, first I have an honorable mention in Bamboozling Beeble. I know there are some of you out there who run cubes that involve the dice rolling cards from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This card lets you pay 1 mana and tap it to give a player advantage or disadvantage, effectively, on their die rolls. So if you're going to roll when you cast one of your dice related spells, just tap Bamboozling Beeble and you'll be able to roll an extra d20 and keep your favorite result. Likewise, you can screw up your opponent's rolls. Now obviously this isn't useful in most normal cubes, but it's a cool effect if you've built a cube with a dice rolling theme, and I think you're going to enjoy it. 6-sided die. It's not a dice, it is a card. It does let you roll a 6-sided die though. This is a removal spell that adds a level of randomness to the removal. That means it's not going to be for everyone. I know not everyone likes that sense of randomness. So you roll a die and get a different removal effect based on the roll. At a 1, you just reduce the creature's base toughness to 1, meaning you'll probably kill it during blocking. On a 4, you'll give it -4/-4. On 6, you'll just exile it. You know, you get something for all the other ones. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. But at 3 mana, most of these effects are either on rate or below rate for like a common of this effect. So it's definitely more about the fun and less about the efficiency. This is clearly gonna go in like a less powerful cube, or since it's a common, you could play it in Pauper Cube, or it would probably be pretty okay. I wish this card was legal in Commander or something, because it is so close to being perfect. It Came from Planet Glurg is a clone creature that can copy multiple creatures at once. It copies them all at once and combines them, meaning you get their total power, total toughness, combined mana cost, text boxes, names, and of course for the sake of the unset, the art. But in a cube, this card is actually pretty intuitive and fun despite how it plays with the rules. It costs X green-blue, so copying 1 creature puts it on par with Clone for 4 mana. Paying 6 mana to get a copy of 2 cards can take it to a whole new level depending on what you copy, and anything beyond that is just potentially insane. This could be quite powerful. It lets you copy any creature on the battlefield, and it doesn't even target, so it does get around hexproof and ward and things like that. You can get some truly hilarious combinations, like melding together a Hazoret the Fervent and a Wormcoil engine for a truly frightening 11/10 indestructible haste trample lifelink creature for just 6 mana. Hazoret the Fervent Wormcoil engine, my favorite Magic card. As far as uncommon equipment cards go, Strength Testing Hammer isn't so bad. Rather than having a set power boost, you roll a 6-sided die when the creature attacks, and get that number as a bonus. For the 1 mana casting cost and 3 mana equip cost, a 2 on the dice would get you a Bronze Sword, a 3 makes it better than Greatsword, and anything in the top half of the possible dice rolls, you're gonna be pretty happy overall. What makes it significantly better is that you get to draw a card if you then have the creature with the highest power. This helps equipment-centric colors like red and white have access to a bit more card draw while still keeping true to their strategy. Trigger Happy might be the most broken card in all of Unfinity because it lets you pay just 2 mana to trigger a triggered ability of any permanent at instant speed. This of course includes you win the game triggers, so maybe don't run this card if you have any triggered abilities that can win the game. But it's a pretty fun card otherwise. Like you can trigger Treachery and untap 5 of your lands, trigger your Aura Shards to blow up a nasty enchantment. It's a one-time use spell that is pretty narrow, but it's going to be pretty silly when it does work. Soul Performer is another one of those cards that makes sense when you read it, but just doesn't quite work within the rules. It taps to add 2 taps? It basically gives you 2 opportunities to activate a tap ability without tapping the permanent, which makes sense in your head but doesn't really work so well in normal Magic rules. It can't be activated more than once each turn, so you won't be able to do any infinite tapping and untapping. If you do want to go infinite, you'll need to find a way to flicker or copy Soul Performer and give it haste. Most of the time it's just going to be a fun addition to your activated abilities. Like your Mother of Runes can now protect 3 creatures instead of 1. Kiki Jiki, without infinite combos, can generate real value by creating 3 tokens instead of 1. You can accelerate your transformation process for Jace Vryn's Prodigy. There's lots of non-broken options that are available with this card, and if you have a lot of creatures that do have a tap ability, then this could be a pretty cool addition. Claire de Lune Joy Sculptor really does give me joy. She turns all of your tokens into cards, meaning they exist everywhere in every zone. They can go to your hand, they can be shuffled into your library, and they can be put into your graveyard. She also comes with an activated ability that lets you put a token from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. It's a really funny ability, and most of the time you'll probably just be dealing with 1/1 soldier tokens, but there are enough instances where this can be a nice piece of value engine. This is probably like the least good card on the list, but I think it's pretty cool. Truss Chief Engineer gets counters when creatures die. Then you can cash in those counters to increase or decrease a number on a card. You could do some clever things with this, such as dramatically increasing the cost of a spell when it's on the stack, making it impossible to pay for. So you can also reduce the amount of damage a burn spell deals. How about Lightning Bolt only dealing 1 damage instead? Or you can take the toughness of a blocking creature down so that you actually kill it. Anything like that. It's a pretty versatile card, and you'll always be finding new ways it can interact with the game. I just named a few of the obvious ones here. Lots of possibilities. Comet Stellar Pup is not only an adorable dog in a spacesuit, but he's also a red and white planeswalker, of which there really aren't that many good ones. And his abilities are all random, but also all pretty good. You have to roll a die for each activation, and the results could give you 2 1/1 tokens, returning a cheap card from your graveyard to your hand, dealing damage to a creature or player, or getting 2 more activations of his loyalty abilities. This card is actually legal in constructed formats, note the normal hollow symbol instead of the acorn, so it even has Magic's approval to put into your normal cube. I've expressed my love of modal spells on this channel before, and Far Out satisfies my every wish by letting you choose any number of modes. Abrade? It deals 3 damage and destroys an artifact now. Cryptic Command? You thought it was good before, but how about 4 mana to counter a spell, bounce a permanent, tap all your opponent's creatures, and draw a card, all at once? Charming Prince? Now he scries, gains life, and flickers a creature for just 2 measly mana. Basically, this card is great if you have any sort of concentration of modal spells, so this shines in a cube that has lots of commands and charms and all that stuff. Where this doesn't shine is with the confluences, where you can choose the same mode more than once, because Far Out does specifically say you can't choose any mode more than once. So it's only really good with the charms and commands and cards like that. And to end us off, here's a little bonus one that isn't good, but is one that I think you could have a lot of fun with in your cube, especially if you treat cubing and cube drafting as a bit of a social situation. Autograph Book is not strong, letting you pay 3 mana and tapping it to draw a card, but you have to remove a counter on it, and it comes in with counters for each person who has signed it. But how will you get said autographs on the Autograph Book? Well, by having the winner of each of your cube drafts sign it every time you play. Since this is such an underpowered card, it's not going to warp your format based on how many signatures it has, but it might cause players to crack a few smiles while drafting, and years down the line, you're going to look at this card and smile yourself when you see all of your friends' signatures on this. It's going to bring back so many memories. It's such a great opportunity to do something silly and cute, but also kind of fun. And it's not like this card's unplayable. You could still play this. So I love it. So, what did you guys think of all these uncards? Are they still just too wacky for you, or did I convince you that maybe they're not all bad? I know there are a few of these that I can't wait to test out myself, because they ride the line of fair and broken, by bending the rules in unique ways. Let me know in the comments below how Unfinity is going to impact your cube, if at all, and don't forget to subscribe to the Masonzero MTG channel to see my future videos.